do at businessofcannabis.com. Coming up on this BofC Live, we connect with Forkutza of Dutchie. We want to connect with her about her new role at Dutchie, as well as a recent audit that Dutchie underwent from the regulator in Ontario. This is Forkutza from Dutchie. Anne, thank you for being here.
Hi, Jay. How are you? Great to connect with you again.
Great to connect with you again. And we have a lot to talk about. But first, you have made a move in your career. You are at Dutchie now. Folks that follow Business of Cannabis or know you from the Canadian cannabis scene, know you from your previous work. For those that don't know, although that number is really small now, tell us a little bit about Dutchie and then we'll go from there.
Yes, so extremely happy and excited to be at Dutchie and talking to you, of course, Jay.
Of course.
So my role is head of strategic growth here at Dutchie, looking after new market and expansion opportunities. Those of you who are listening who are not familiar with Dutchie, here at Dutchie, our mission is really to provide safe and easy access to cannabis for everyone. And we do that by providing a compliant retail tech platform that in turn helps retailers provide safe and easy access to cannabis for their consumers.
And my guess is, even though many people do not know that they have done this, almost like so many cannabis consumers who've bought cannabis over the past year, 2 years, 3 years have used some component of Dutchie in their purchasing component. Talk a little bit about sort of where we would have come in contact, even not unknowingly, with sort of Dutchie technology.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So during the pandemic, or even anytime now, if you are buying cannabis, legal cannabis, online and choosing either delivery or the ability to pick up in store anywhere in Canada, chances are you're probably using the online menu that Dutchie is powering. Yeah.
And I think many of us probably have, and I know I have because I track these things pretty carefully. And it is obviously a company in major growth mode. We were just at MJ Biz. It was probably the largest installation on the floor. We connected with Zach, one of the co-founders. So talk about, because something came across our desk that I thought was very compelling, which was there was an audit. I guess the AGCO here in Ontario did an audit of technology. Tell me, everything I just said, was that correct? And then tell me exactly what it was.
Yes, Jay. So really exciting news, and also a badge of honor, where Dutchie is the first and currently, as we know, the only e-commerce cannabis platform to officially pass the certified click and collect auditing process that is performed by the AGCO. And what happened was that the AGCO audit was done through our partnership with Tokyo Smoke and Canopy Growth. Dutchie had first partnered with Tokyo Smoke to provide e-commerce and eventually delivery during the emergency order period at the height of COVID in Ontario. And because, as you know, because of the pandemic, there's been this significant increase of online and delivery activity, which is why the AGCO took it upon themselves to further extend their auditing and inspection process to online tools like e-commerce versus just looking at in-store and point of sale. So the auditing process was fairly in-depth. It took about 3 months in total. And really the intention was to ensure reliable security measures, controls around data security, protection of data integrity, and overall compliance with the AGCO's registrar standards of cannabis retail stores and all criteria which Dutchie has officially passed and is all approved.
No, but it is interesting because we've been connected for some time during the early days of COVID, spring of 2020. There was this obviously push from the industry to allow for click and collect and delivery, or click and collect already existed, but delivery for sure. And it just became the norm, I think. And now it's in place for a long time. But something that we talked about in Las Vegas with the folks from Dutchie and other sort of platform type technologies in cannabis is that it is the Dutchies of the world that is allowing this compliant efficiency, like retailers across the board to like actually do this, which on their own would be very complex, but it is allowing this really grand scale of the work that you do across retailers, large and small. Talk a little bit about that role, because it is really integral now, even though I think many consumers may not know what you do, the industry certainly does, and it is that part of what Dutchie does that is become integral to the sector.
Right. And really this AGCO audit approval is also very timely. Like you said, Jay, the Ontario government is proposing to permanently keep delivery and curbside pickup for cannabis retailers. Delivery is already here in BC. I'm in Vancouver. It's been around for a while now in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. There's talk about it rolling out in Alberta as well too. So the significance of this audit, and also what you had just brought up and the trend that you're seeing, it's really like what this means is that if you are a new or existing cannabis retail operator and you choose a solution like Dutchie, you are choosing a fully compliant solution that has been officially verified by the AGCO and officially passed their extensive auditing process. And so our tools are compliant first. They're built for cannabis retail. And what this means is that it just opens up retail operators to focus on their business and not worry about losing their license.
Yeah, I of course, it is exactly that. I think there's another lens, and you don't have to comment on this, but I believe it to be true, that other jurisdictions that are looking at e-commerce and delivery, even in sort of relatively mature markets like Colorado, can be rest assured that the technology out there is allowing for compliance, that this is not some bolt on to like skirt regulations or anything. It is actually bolstering regulation, bolstering compliance from these retailers, because they're allowed to add more access for consumers in a compliant and verifiable way. And I think that sort of stamp of approval from, you know, the AGCO in Ontario, which may be the most highly regulated market in the world, like I would think, and I should think, that other markets are looking at this saying, you know what, this technology and this type of technology, you know, is going to be great for us and great for our consumers, great for our retailers, great for our markets. I hope that this becomes like the standard, as opposed to like, you know, 6 years in, people starting looking at delivery, like they start from the get-go, like they are in New York, actually.
Yeah, and the key is really the education component and collaborating, you know, like continuing to work with regulators, not just all across Canada, like the AGCO, but also all across North America as well too. Currently, we power over 5,000 retail locations in North America, over 1,200 retail locations all across Canada. And we are very serious when it comes to taking that compliant first approach with our retail tech solution.
Yeah, and we talked about this with Zach Lipson of the team in Las Vegas. We're talking to you now. Will there be some of your crew coming to the conference circuit here in Toronto in the next couple of weeks?
Yes, we will. A bunch of us will be around for Lift. That is coming up in November. We're also planning something for our retailers to show our appreciation to retailers. And what I have learned here so far at Dutchie is that our North Star is simply listening and focusing on the needs of our clients, which is our retailers. And I sincerely believe that retailers are the core and the center of the cannabis industry. And when you take care of the retailer and solve for their pain points, it creates this positive ripple effect for the consumers, for the brands, for the entire cannabis industry at large. And Canada is a big focus of ours. So yes, we will be coming to visit.
Love it. Well, I'll put how to get in touch with you as we post this, so we can connect in person at the Lift show in Toronto over the next couple of weeks. But Anne, thank you as always for your time. We look forward to connecting down the road.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, Jay.
That was Anne Forkutza of Dutchie. If you like this program, please rate and review it wherever you heard the show. It helps support the work we do. We're able to do what we do because of ongoing partnerships with Alterna Savings, Cannabis at Work,
Cannabis Benchmark, Can Delta, Gallagher, Headset, and Torch and Main. Find out all that we do at businessofcannabis.com.